happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. Now you guys can probably already tell, but it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely gonna want to check this one out. So we got that FBI Director Kash Patel dropping a nuke of a bombshell on us after he just declassified evidence of the Chinese Communist Party's role in 2020 election interference, guys. And I'm excited to get into this one, so we're not straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's hop straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
First and foremost, we were just with President Trump, and I just want to thank him. I know he's not here in the room right now, but what a ride we have been on. What a courageous warrior and leader he has been, and the faith and trust he has put in me to lead the FBI is the greatest honor that I'll ever have in my life. And to General Bondi, that sounds pretty freaking cool. Pam, you're my sister, you're my mentor, you're my friend, you're my boss, and the confidence you have placed in me, I will never violate the trust. The men and women of the FBI will be led under your leadership through one standard, the Constitution. So thank you for entrusting me, Pam.
Okay, you guys, so late last night, we had a bombshell tweet coming from our FBI Director, Kash Patel. He tweeted out saying the FBI has located documents which detail alarming allegations related to the 2020 U.S. elections, including allegations of interference by the CCP, the Chinese Communism Party. Oh my goodness. He says, I have immediately declassified the material and turned the documents over to the chairman, Grassley, for further review. And we can see it right here. We've got a headline coming from Just the News. FBI gives Congress intel on alleged Chinese plot to create fake mail-in ballots in 2020. This guy right here finally did it. So all that was for nothing. What happens with Fonnie Willis's case now? The whole conspiracy to turn over the 2020 elections, the racketeering case, is that all dissolved now too? Trump and his 18 co-defendants? I'm just wondering. We got a tweet coming from Benny Johnson breaking it as well. Everyone is covering this. Says China had mass-produced fake U.S. driver's license to hijack the 2020 elections with fake mail-in ballots for old Joe. This right here is hot off the press. So it turns out that President Donald Trump was correct all along. This is a tweet from June of June of 2020. I'm sorry. And Donald Trump has been saying this since the beginning. I mean, he would not stop saying it. He continues to say it till this day. You can't get him to say otherwise. He tweeted out back in June 2020 saying, rigged 2020 election, millions of mail-in ballots will be printed by foreign countries and others. It will be the scandal of our times. And he continues to say that. Next to the auto pen, he says the 2020 election is the biggest scandal of American history. Okay. All right. So what does that mean for the bad actors? All the folks who were telling us that we were crazy. The mainstream media lies alongside the folks in our government who kept just telling us that we were crazy. We were looking the wrong place, that Donald Trump truly had lost that election. What happens to them now? Individuals like FBI Director Christopher Wray, back in September of 2020, blatantly lying when asked to testify on foreign interference in the election. Check out what he had to say back in the day.
The intelligence community's consensus is that Russia continues to try to influence our elections, primarily through what we would call malign foreign influence, as opposed to what we saw in 2016, where there was also an effort to target election infrastructure, cyber targeting. We have not seen that second part yet this year or this cycle, but we certainly have seen very active efforts by the Russians to influence our election in 2020 through what I would call more the malign foreign influence side of things. Social media, use of proxies, state media, online journals, et cetera, an effort to both sow divisiveness and discord. And I think the intelligence community has assessed this publicly primarily to denigrate Vice President Biden and what the Russians see as kind of an anti-Russian establishment. That's essentially what we're seeing in 2020.
Okay, sounds like Russia, 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 Hillary Clinton all over again. So, former FBI Director Christopher Wray blatantly lying on the stand. Will he be held accountable? How about those mainstream media outlets like MSDNC, MSNBC? What's up with them? This is another headline that we caught from 2020, and they were all pushing this narrative to say that Trump has lost his mind. He's crazy. This headline reads, Trump's lie about Chinese election interference is debunked. But is it though? Where's the evidence that there was no interference? I would like to know. And we can't forget the most dishonest mainstream media outlet, CNN, also coming out with lies. This is from June of 2022, saying 10 Trump election lies. His own officials even called false. Okay. And let's just start off. It says the first one. It's literally the first one. The false claim of a quote unquote stolen election. But I think there's evidence now. We may, with Cash's new revelation, we may get the evidence that we've been looking for that proved Donald Trump was not some madman, that he actually had some reasoning behind his claims. We can't forget, alongside Donald Trump, we had Sidney Powell, who was also looped into that racketeering case with Fonnie Willis down in Fulton County, Georgia. Don't even get me started on her. She's been also saying this from the beginning. Look at what she was saying.
Now, talking about Georgia, you've actually mentioned that some of the counties didn't actually do a hand recount. Now, can you tell me more about this?
Yes, they often ran the same ballots through the same fraudulent creating machines, which did absolutely no good whatsoever. They did not look at each ballot and compare the signatures. If we could even get 100,000 ballots of the last 100,000 ballots run in Georgia, for example, we could show by instant mechanical analysis the difference in the ballots and the ink. We know that there were hundreds of thousands of fraudulent ballots imported into the country, likely from China. We have video of some coming across the border from Mexico. There's other information of ballots being shipped from one state to another. In fact, there was a postal service driver, I think, who was sent from New York to Pennsylvania in the middle of the night with a truckload of ballots that was then used to, quote, backfill, end quote, the vote count. It's absolutely absurd. We have more evidence coming in today of a massive load of ballots, I think, from Arizona to Georgia. So they had these warehouses of counterfeit ballots in different parts of the country, apparently, and then shipped them in the middle of the night as needed to backfill in the states where President Trump's voters poured out in such great number that they broke the algorithm they had pre-programmed in the computers for Dominion to create the fraud. That's why they had to stop counting in 5 states. And that's why it's absolutely absurd to say that there wasn't voter fraud here. We have counterfeit ballots. We have dead people voting by the thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. There were something someone called phantom voters. There were just more manner and means of fraud than any law-abiding American citizen could possibly imagine. It's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. And they were so in our face with it. And then to deny it is purely Machiavellian.
There we have it. So yeah, it truly is stunning. It is stunning that they got away with this. Actually, they came after Donald Trump simply for telling the truth. They tried to arrest this man. You can't forget he literally stood trial because of this. And then the fact that there's just so much overwhelming evidence that there was some tomfoolery going on behind the scenes. It just blows my mind. We got Big Fish here on X with more proof saying 10 types of paper for the ballots were discovered to be used in Arizona audit of the 2020 election. And could anyone guess how many types of paper are approved and authorized? Only one type of paper was approved and authorized. So 10 different types. 10 different types of paper were discovered, yet there was only one paper that was approved. And then we have it here, just, breaking it down. Improper paper utilization for the state of Arizona. And could you imagine how this was going across the nation? This is the day. This is the day that we've all been waiting for. Kash Patel kicking in the door and dropping the big news. Speaking of big news, we got an article here from Just the News. You know your boy Retro. We've got to get down to the nitty gritty. We've got to get to the core of this situation to see what FBI Director Kash Patel's next steps are and what he has found. This is that article that we read the headline from earlier with the FBI gives Congress intel on alleged Chinese plot to create fake mail-in ballots in 2020. And then starts by saying FBI Director Kash Patel on Monday evening turned over to Congress an intelligence report raising concerns that China had mass-produced fake U.S. driver's license to carry out a scheme to hijack the 2020 election with fake mail-in ballots for Democrat Joe Biden. Slow Biden. The newly declassified intelligence reports from August 2020 weren't corroborated or fully investigated, and instead were recalled from intelligence agencies at about the same time that then FBI Director Christopher Wray testified there was no known plots of foreign interference ahead of the 2020 elections in which Biden defeated Donald Trump. It says the new documents were turned over to Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, who at first raised concerns to the Bureau that the intelligence hadn't been fully vetted and instead was just dismissed, even though there was evidence of the fake licenses. Wow. So they just completely said, toss it out, discredit it all. Trump lost. Get him out of here. Then we got FBI Director Kash Patel coming out saying thanks to the oversight work and partnership Chairman Grassley, the FBI continues to provide unprecedented transparency at the People's Bureau. To that end, we have located documents Chairman Grassley requested, which detail alarming allegations related to the 2020 U.S. elections. Specifically, these include allegations of plans from the CCP to manufacture fake driver's license and ship them to the United States for the purpose of facilitating fraudulent mail-in ballots. Allegations which, while substantiated, were abruptly recalled and never disclosed to the public. In accordance with Chairman Grassley's request for the documents, I have immediately declassified the material and turned the document over to Chairman Grassley for further review. Officials who have seen the documents told Just the News that the FBI had a relatively new confidential source who provided this information in summer of 2020 that the Chinese government was manufacturing and exporting fake U.S. driver's licenses as a part of a plot to create voter identities for Chinese residents living inside of the United States so that they could vote with these fake mail-in ballots. The intelligence source also claimed that the plot was specifically designed to benefit Joe Biden, old slow Biden. Who would have thought? Who would have guessed it? They also said that the intelligence report was recalled within a few weeks and the allegations were never fully investigated on the grounds that the source needed to be re-interviewed? Question mark, huh? Something's fishy there as well. We'll keep moving on. But in fact, another agency, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, had intercepted nearly 20,000 fake licenses around the same time the intelligence came in. Possible corroboration of the report, officials said. Okay. Wow. Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. Talk about a bombshell. We got FBI Director Kash Patel declassifying and releasing the smoking gun that could potentially put all these bad actors behind bars. Now I'm just hoping that they act on this. You know, we've got all the information. We got the evidence. Now it's time for folks to start stepping up. The DOJ, Kash Patel, you know, get the wheels turning on this. There has been too many times we've had overwhelming evidence. All the signs were pointing to the crime and the corruption of these bad actors, yet they somehow still skate away. No penalty, no punishment for their actions whatsoever. We have to start drawing that line. Put your foot down, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section, though. Comments are open. I'm definitely excited to hear what you guys are thinking on this bombshell of an update coming from FBI Director Kash Patel. And also make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you did enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one. We